We're going to draw the hovercraft in Illustrator. We're going to get started. Alright, so here's what we're going to learn. We're going to figure out how to use the laser cutter with Illustrator, understand the materials that will work in the laser cutter, and we're going to draw our advanced hovercraft. Alright, so what materials you can use is plywood, anything a 1/4 inch thick or less you can cut. If you bring it from home, please know what it is. If it's some sort of weird plastic, it may not work. It won't work on metal, glass, ceramics, or thick stuff, or stuff that will melt back together. But you're pretty good if you use balsa wood or some sort of light plastic or cardboard or foam board will probably work just great. Okay, so what I need you to do is get the sheet material. It can be up to 24 by 12, any bigger than that, and we'll have to cut it down. It should be lightweight and flat. If it's not lightweight and flat, friction will be too much and it won't work very well. The other thing you need to do is get all your materials. So for example, you're going to have a nozzle that may use a straw or may use a pin, part of a pin, or it may use a Gatorade lid. Get those things together because we need to measure. Okay, so what you should have, make sure that you've already done your sketch with measurements on there so that when you go to draw, your drawing will actually work in real life. Okay, so your job is to open the template and get this thing, because this thing's all set up for you the way we want it. So we're going to go to the internet. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So let me get the internet. Okay, so you're going to go to my website. You're going to go to Applied Physics. You're going to go to Hovercrafts, Advanced Hovercraft. And here's the area where you get all the files you will need. You're going to get your Illustrator template there. And inside here you're going to see the laser cutter template. It doesn't look like anything because Google doesn't recognize it, but it's going to work just fine. So we're going to click on it, and then you're going to need to download it. Alright, so once you download it, it will appear right here at the bottom, and you're going to click on it and open it, and it'll open up into Illustrator. And it's going to look a little something like this, and you can turn these layers on and off to open up the correct thing. But open up this one, and here's the deal. So when you do this, I have a nice color palette set up for you over here. So red means cut, blue means etch, and black or gray mean a nice burn. Okay, so whenever you do a line that you want to cut, so that's going to be, the stroke is going to be 0.001, and it's going to be red. So if I click on this line, you can see that the stroke is red, and you can see that it's 255, 0, and 0. So it's 100% red, 0 green, and 0 blue. Okay, so if I click on this line, this is an etch. You can see that this is 100% blue, 255, 0, and 0. And so, by the way, look at those the deals I have up on the front board, and you can see what it actually does. Okay, and so if you fill something, this one is filled with black. That is going to burn it as deep as you can go. And then this is going to be a little bit less deep, a little bit less deep, a little bit less deep, and then this is not very deep at all. Okay, so take a look at the examples I have of what a stroke of red, a stroke of blue with a stroke of 0.001, and these different colors will look like and do. Okay, and then there's another thing that you can do. There is a gradient. Okay, if you look at this, this is going to be deep. It's going to go from deep to not very deep. Okay, in a linear gradient. And if you look at this, this is a radial gradient. It's going to go from a deep burn to a not very deep burn. And so when I click on this, this particular thing is a radial burn, and you can see that it goes from black to a light shade of gray. Okay, and so you can do those things. Take a look at those things up on the wall and to see what I'm talking about. Now that you've looked at that, we need to save this thing. We'll turn those off, and we'll make a new layer to work on. Okay, and so what we're going to do is save this. We're going to go File, Save As, so you do this with me. And you're going to save it in your folder with your name on it. And then you're going to click on Computer, and then you're going to click on the folder with your name on it. You're going to go into Applied Physics and Engineering. You're going to make a new folder called Hovercraft. So we're going to click on that. We're going to go in there, and we're going to save this as Hovercraft Body version 1. Okay, and hit Save. I already have, so I'm going to hit Cancel. Okay, and so what you're going to do now is you're going to draw. So what I'm going to do is I want to draw the body. Okay, so I'm going to start with a line. And I'm going to be looking at these measurements, and I know I want mine to be 4.5 across. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to go right here to 4.5, and I'm going to click and release. Now, that is blue, and you know that I want no fill, and I want this to be 100% red, no green, and no blue, because I want this to be a cut, and I want the stroke to be 0.001. Let's see if I can find the stroke of this thing. There it is, stroke. And I'm going to change that to 0.001, and it is. And you can see that it's not straight, so I'm going to click on this thing, and I'm going to use my arrow key to move it down until it's just perfect. Okay, so we got it there. So I'm going to go back to my pen tool. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to go straight up and click, and then I'm going to drag it straight up, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to drag it straight down, and I'm going to do that a little bit more, and then I'm going to click. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this guy right here, use the direct selection tool, click on this thing, and I'm going to drag this handle up, and I'll keep playing with these handles until I get the nice curve that I want. So that's one way that you could draw the body of your thing, of your hovercraft. Okay, and let's delete that. I'm going to try a different way. Another thing that you could do is you could draw a circle. You could grab it and draw it and hit Shift to make it perfect. And you could start with a circle. But what I'm going to do actually is probably better. I'm going to click on the circle. I'll click, and I want the radius to be 4.5 by 4.5. I'm going to click OK. And then I have that circle, and then I could come down and I could say, you know what, I'm going to make the back look like a rounded rectangle, and I can click, and I want the width to be 4.5, and I want the height to be 5. Click OK. I've got a rounded rectangle. I'm going to click, I'm going to move it right here, something like this. And then I'm going to click on this and hit Shift and select both. And then I'm going to go Window. I'm going to go to Pathfinder. Turn that on. Oh, it was already on. Window, Pathfinder. Turn it on. And I'm going to add those two things together. Okay. And then it's like, you know what? I also need a spot in the center here for my. So you can see where the center is. So I'm thinking, I'm going to put a hole right here. And I'm going to hit Shift to make it perfect, and I'm going to hit Alt to make it go from the inside out, and I'm going to make this the perfect size for the straw to go through, whatever I'm going to use, right? And so there you have it. So that's going to cut that thing out nice. The only other thing we need is I need to draw my fins, and so I'm going to draw the fins over here. So I'm going to click, 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 click for the fin, and then I'm going to finish it. That's not a very good looking fin, but at any rate, so then I'm going to press Control C and then Control V to make a duplicate. I think I made a duplicate, did I? Oh yeah. Oh no, I didn't. So let's try that again. So press Control and C, and then click off of it, and press Control and V, and you make a duplicate. So there's my two fins. Okay? Alright, so you guys do it. Ready, go.